When we're inputting notes into our score, as well as choosing the pitch of the notes we want, we also need to be able to choose the length of those notes so we can create all the rhythms that we want in our music. And that's where this row of buttons here on the top bar come in really handy. You should recognize all of the usual notes that we find in music, everything from a quasi-hemi, demi, semi-quaver, which hardly ever comes up, to things like quarter notes and eighth notes, quavers, crotchets, minims, semi-breathes, all of that kind of stuff. And by choosing these different buttons, we can tell MuseScore that we want that particular length in the music. So if we're doing mouse input and I enter note input mode, you can see that at the moment the duration of the note is set to crotchet or quarter note. And so just as before, if I was to click on the score anywhere, I'm going to have that note appear in the music. If I want a different duration of note, say I wanted a quaver or an eighth note, then I need to choose that button from the top bar, and then I can start clicking around and we get quavers instead of crotchets, or eighth notes instead of quarter notes for the Americans out there. And so it's really easy to start putting in slightly more complicated rhythms just by choosing the lengths of notes that we want. If I'm using the keyboard to enter notes into my score, I'm going to be typing the letter keys that I want in my score. So if I want an A, I press A. If I want a B, I press B. If I want a C, I press C. Now I can also change the length of the notes that I'm inputting with the keyboard by using the number keys. And so by pressing 4, for example, that selects our quaver from the top bar. If I press 5, that is a crotchet or a quarter note. 6 is a minim or a half note. 7 is a semi-breve or a whole note. So by doing that, I can start to create more interesting rhythms in my music just by pressing a few numbers and pressing a few keys.